Travis, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off with some news in the tourism sector. Just as tourism was beginning to show sign of recovery, the Caribbean has been hit by a new wave of coronavirus infections that is causing lockdowns and flight cancellations and overwhelming hospitals. Countries including Jamaica, Martinique, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Lucia, and Dominica have seen a rise in cases fueled by highly contagious Delta variant and a relaxation of earlier restrictions. Misinformation spread on social media has also contributed to a low vaccination uptake. The Caribbean is one of the regions most dependent on tourism, with 9 countries in the world's top 20, according to an index compiled by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. Many experienced double-digit declines in gross domestic product (GDP) growth when COVID-19 struck, drying up tourism dollars, destroying jobs, and hurting their balance of payments. Some countries, like the Cayman Islands, shut their borders to tourists, but others, like Jamaica, continue to welcome them, allowing the country of 3 million people to salvage some earnings. Jamaica's foreign exchange earnings from tourism fell US $2.5 billion last year, a 74% drop from 2019, the government said. The IDB said vaccines are crucial to getting tourism back to normal and forecast that recovery to pre-pandemic levels of economic activity could take up to 2024 in some countries. Vaccine rollout in the Caribbean has been slow due to vaccine skepticism, logistical holdup, and inadequate supply. Massey Holdings Limited has announced that it is selling the group's 100% interest in Massey's United Insurance Limited to the Coralies Group for US $90.5 million. In a regulatory notice, Massey said at its meeting on August 30, 2021, its board of directors took the decision to sell its 100% stake. On September 2, Massey Barbados entered into a share purchase agreement with the Coralies Group. Indigenous groups urged world leaders on Sunday to take back a new target to protect 80% of the Amazon basin by 2025, saying bold action was needed to stop deforestation, pushing the Earth's largest rainforest beyond a point of no return. Amazonian delegates launched their campaign at a 9-day conference where several thousand officials, scientists, and campaigners are laying the groundwork for United Nations talks on biodiversity in the Chinese city of Kunming next year. The Amazon basin as a whole has lost 18% of its original forest cover, while another 17% has been degraded, according to a landmark study released in July by the Science Panel for the Amazon, based on research by 200 scientists. If deforestation reaches 20% to 25%, it could tip the Amazon into a death spiral in which it dries out and becomes a savanna, according to Brazilian Earth System scientist Carlos Nobre. And finally, Guyana awarded a unit of Saudia Aramco a tender to purchase a portion of the country's oil production, and the two parties will likely enter into a 1-year marketing deal, an official said on Tuesday. The South American country last month received bids from 15 companies aiming to market its allocation of light crude produced off the coast by a consortium led by ExxonMobil Corporation. Guyana, a nascent oil producer, is entitled to a portion of the oil but lacks the capacity to refine it. While Guyana had initially been seeking a partner to market its oil for 1 year, the government has now awarded Aramco Trading Limited only the next loading, which is scheduled for September 21 to 22 and will be the government's 4th of 2021, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat told Reuters. Aramco will likely be awarded the 1-year contract, but that process is not yet complete, Bharat added. The firm submitted the lowest complaint bid of a commission of 25 cents per barrel. Guyana and neighboring Suriname have emerged as the world's newest hotspots for offshore oil exploration. The Exxon-led consortium, which also includes China's CNOOC Limited and New York-based Hess Corporation, has discovered more than 9 billion barrels of recoverable resources off Guyana's coast. India, the the world's largest crude consumer and importer, had sought a long-term supply arrangement with Guyana in the part to diversify its suppliers away from OPEC countries dominated by Saudi Arabia. But Guyana ruled that possibility out last month, deciding instead to go through with a competitive bidding process. And that is it for our region news this evening, and I encourage our viewers to stay indoors, wear those masks, use those hand sanitizers, and continue practicing social distancing. Back to you, Travis.